From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your evening update.
Dennis's Heating and Air Conditioning is Northern California's premier heating and air conditioning contractor. From residential housing, large commercial projects, installation to repair, sheet metal fabrication, and everything in between, we are your go-to heating and air conditioning specialist.
Well, you made it through another work week. The weekend is finally here. Maybe you've got some plans here, and if you do have outdoor plans, well, you've come to the right place to kind of get an idea what's going on with the weather, no matter where you are, whether you're going to be in the valley or even some of the mountain locations as well. All right, so here's the deal. Here's what's going on. Number one, you may have noticed today, not quite as hot as it was yesterday. Temperatures will continue to drop going through the weekend, and we've got an even bigger drop in those temperatures as we go into next week. We'll take a closer look at that in a second. But also, I've been talking about the last few days, the potential for showers and maybe some thunderstorms for some of the higher elevations. But at this point, if you have outdoor plans in the mountains, I wouldn't be too concerned when you read this and hear about that, because it's going to be few and far between. And yes, there could be some stray, stronger storms in some areas here, but overall, they'll probably pass through fairly quickly. I want to talk about the smoke because this is going to be a bit of a concern here, especially for Siskiyou County as we go into your Saturday morning. So here's Saturday morning, tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. What you're seeing here, of course, the typical spots around this Smith River complex, of course, Del Norte, northern Humboldt County. That's pretty typical. But what we're seeing is some of that smoke is pushing just to the I-5 corridor here. So places like Mount Shasta City, Wairika could possibly see some smoke to start off tomorrow morning. And you'll notice, of course, Scott Valley making its way in even parts of northern Trinity County. This right here, it may be just a tad hazy out there, but this is nothing to really be concerned about in the valley. All right, now we're going to take you into Saturday, tomorrow afternoon. That smoke looks like it's trying to retreat a little bit here, but still at least a smoky, hazy around Wairika and maybe even as far east as Mount Shasta City. But you can kind of see it retreats a little bit to the west as we go through the afternoon. But again, nothing to really be concerned about in the valley. All right, now let's take you on into Saturday night and into Sunday. You see this kind of push of smoke eastward. Now, what we're seeing right here, and especially even making its way into western portions of Modoc County, and you can see it's even making it into the western portions of the eastern mountains. So say western Laston County, making its way into northern Plumas County, and even into the mountains of Shasta County. This kind of a yellowish area right here, this is going to be mainly in the form of some denser haze, and you would see with some of the grays here. There may be even a faint smell of smoke in some of these areas as well, but overall I don't anticipate the air quality to drop a whole lot. But if you are sensitive to smoke in any shape or form, you may want to put off on Sunday that hike that you may have in these areas here. But of course you should be okay in the valley, but even off into Trinity County westward into portions of Humboldt County, looks like there will be some smoke out there as well. All right, so let's take you hour by hour for the rest of the evening and into tomorrow for the valley. We've got mainly clear skies. Temperatures still on the warm side. I still expect mid to upper 90s for your daytime highs to start off the weekend. And for the mountains, I've got temperatures in the mid to upper 80s, about 87 degrees for Susanville, 88 for Bernie, and Paradise about 88. Now, what you'll notice, we've got raindrops falling from most of the mountain locations. I don't think everyone in the mountains will see rain. It's going to be few and far between. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit more detail right now, okay? So first and foremost, what we've got here is this ridge of high pressure that's been in place. That's what gave us the sunny skies out there here for today, and it's shifting off to the east, which is a reason why our temperatures have dropped a little bit here. Now, what I want you to take note, this isn't really what I have my eyes on here. Yes, it's a storm, but really shouldn't have much of an impact on us anytime soon. It's right here. You see that? There's a little bit of a spin right here. And what I want to do is I want to show you the water vapor. What this does is it shows you the amount of moisture in the atmosphere. Okay, so when you see the greens here with this storm, that's moisture, and that's a good amount of moisture. You're getting into what we call the saturated atmosphere. Right here, these rust colors, this is the dry air that's in place. So what we're seeing here is this spinning area of low pressure, but it just doesn't have much in the way of moisture to tap into. And that's why it's not producing any rain at this point. So when we look at this area of low pressure as it moves closer to us, what's going to happen is, and I've been talking about this the last few days, it's going to park itself just off the coast of California. Now, this is actually kind of a prime spot for it to bring us showers and even thunderstorms, because when you split this in half right here, to the east of that line is where we have the most level, highest level of instability. You need instability to create that upward lift for showers and thunderstorms to develop. But as I mentioned, there's really not a whole lot of moisture for this storm system to tap into, but there is going to be just enough for a few scattered showers and thunderstorms. That's for Saturday, Sunday, and even quite possibly into Monday. But by early next week, that low pressure will be down to our south, even into Wednesday. Now, remember what I mentioned, this is where we have the most amount of instability on this side. Now, sometimes you get that wraparound moisture, and that can bring in some of the showers and thunderstorms. So, it may tap into a little bit of that monsoon moisture, but overall, I think by this point, we're dry. Now, once this exits the region, I've got my eyes on another area, and that's right here. Watch this. We are going to see an area of low pressure and some cooler air from Canada dive down to the south. Now, what's interesting about this particular forecast model, we're looking at what's known as the GFS, the American Forecast Model. Notice that the area of low pressure is off to our east. What this tells us is that this won't bring us any rainfall. However, the last few model runs coming in from the European forecast model takes the same pocket of colder air but brings it right on top of Northern California. So we've got a big discrepancy between the two long-range forecast models that we look at. So if we were to see this area of low pressure on top of us, that would mean rain. It would mean the potential for thunderstorms. Now, what we're looking at, by the way, is next Thursday, really the end of next week. And that would also mean significantly cooler weather. Now, that is expected to exit the region and push itself to the south and east, but then some cooler air here will kind of cool down toward the end of next week into that next weekend, and will continue to bring us a chance for showers and thunderstorms. So as it stands right now, I have included a chance for showers because there is such a big discrepancy. And I just want you to be aware that if you have plans outdoor toward the end of next week, there is the potential for rain, but that could change. All right, let's take a look at what we've got going on this weekend. And you see what's happening. By 3 p.m., we're seeing the storms begin to develop in Plumas County. So I do think this is probably where we could see the bulk of the rain, and where we typically do see it in the Sierra, all right? But what we're seeing here, just a few pockets in Trinity County where we're seeing some of those thunderstorms pop up, and not to mention eastern Shasta County. Now notice Modoc and Siskiyou County, there's not much activity. And there's a very good chance that may play out. However, that being said, we still can't rule out some of this activity scooting northward throughout the day. You'll notice a few pockets of showers by 5 p.m. tomorrow. It's even into parts of Siskiyou County, but there you can see Lassen County. Now that's where we're seeing the bulk of the activity. Now, this is where I think we've got the biggest threat and potential for heavier rainfall, and not to mention lightning strikes. So if you have any hikes planned out in this area, be forewarned that there's a pretty good chance that you may run into some activity. But Modoc, Siskiyou County, and even Trinity County, it probably won't be as bad. Then we go into Saturday, 7 p.m. Still a few showers left over, but it's beginning to wrap itself up and should be dry by Saturday night. Now, as we go into Sunday, 3 p.m., you see how we're seeing scattered showers and thunderstorms here. What you're also noticing, we're not seeing these bigger clusters of storms developing like we're expected to see on Saturday. So this tells us that it's few and far between. So outdoor plans on Sunday, yes, I think you can go on your hike in Lassen and Plumas counties, not to mention Modoc counties and even Siskiyou County, but be forewarned, you may see a passing shower and maybe a brief but short period of a thunderstorm moving over the area as well. That's 5 p.m. Sunday. You can see it kind of sticks around, and then it looks like by Sunday night, it's gone. Now, it looks like the models will continue to bring a chance for showers, especially in the eastern mountains on Monday, but we could see another repeat of this by early next week. All right. Now we're going to talk about the temperatures, because yes, it's going to be another hot day for your Saturday, but temperatures dropping. Now, what I've done with the temperatures for the end of next week into that next weekend is I've kind of gone in the middle. If we were to see that colder air from Canada move right directly over us, we're talking temperatures most likely in the low 70s for those daytime highs. If that area of low pressure is more off to our east over Nevada, we're looking at temperatures more like the low to mid 90s. So I'm taking these temperatures and I'm putting them somewhere in between. And once we get a better idea what's going to happen with that low and that colder air from Canada, we'll get a better idea what these temperatures will look like. We'll also get a better idea as to whether or not we see that rain toward the end of next week as well. But in the meantime, we still have this heat to contend with. All right, so here's what we have in store for us tonight. Temperatures will be mainly in the 60s for most of us in the valley and in the 40s and 50s for the higher elevations. We take you into tomorrow. It's going to be another warm day, about 98 for Redding, 95 for Chico, and then there you can see the chances for showers for everyone in the mountains. But again, keep in mind, it just depends on where you are, and this is where I think the most of the activity will be and the heaviest activity as we do go into tomorrow afternoon. So Lassen County, Plumas County, Chester, Quincy, Susanville, I think you have the best potential of seeing heavier rainfall and stronger thunderstorms, less potential for that heavier activity here for the mountains elsewhere. But I do expect to remain dry but hot in the valley. Let's take a look at your 7-day outlook, and again, just calling for that chance for showers and thunderstorms Saturday, Sunday, Monday for everyone in the mountains. Best chances will be in Susanville based on these 3 7-day outlooks. You'll also notice a chance that I've included here for Thursday and Friday of next week. That could change depending on what that low pressure system I was talking about, where it decides to go. By the way, first day of fall will be actually Friday night into Saturday, but we're getting in that transition from summer to fall. Now look at the valley. No raindrops coming from any of these clouds, but I do anticipate more in the way of cloud cover coming in if we see that low pressure move on top of us. But notice these temperatures really beginning to plummet in the upper 70s to low 80s, looks like by the time we get into Thursday and Friday.